All right, guys, we are changing the outer tie rod end, the driver's side, the lower control arm, driver's side, and we're changing the axle, driver's side front. So get your jack, lift it up. It's an E-jack right there. Unbolt the bolts holding the rim onto the car. It's a 19 millimeter socket. Then take the wheel off. First thing we're gonna do is the tie rod. So you want to zip that off. If you have a ratchet, hopefully you do, like a gun. If not, it's gonna be tough because you got to break that off of there. Maybe spray some anti-seize on there or whatever, or some lubricant. Mark the tie rod here so that you get it close to your alignment, right? And then after that, we're gonna unbolt these two bolts here. Just take the bottom one out and see if we can pull it out to get the axle out. We're gonna have to also unscrew this wheel bearing hub and then hit this to knock it in to get that axle out. And then that'll be that. And then for the lower control arm, you gotta get in here, get that bolt off of there. Once we get the axle out, we'll do that. And then we'll get those two bolts there, and then that one main bolt going across there. All right, be right back. Guys, please get yourself one of these electric guns. It makes the job a lot easier and a lot faster. So this right here is a 31 millimeter, or you can use a, you can use an inch and I don't know what the fuck this look. Yeah, there you go. You can use that one. That's what I use because I don't have a 31. And then you just put a wrench on the little groove thing right here that gives you grip. You back this off with a that is a 21. That's a 21 millimeter. Back that off, and I sprayed penetrating lube on everything. Then you just twist off the tie rod. Here's the old tie rod. Just twist it off. Yeah, see, it's busted. Shit fucked up, right? The new tie rod, same thing. You could either count the turns or you can mark where the old tie rod was. But I kind of did both. I marked it and I'm gonna count the turns. So you just screw the new one back on, then you tighten that, lock that back in, and then you just put it back in there. Oh yeah, this nut right here is a 19. No, it's a 21, my bad. This one right here is a 21. And that's it there. And then after I put the new tie rod on, I'm not gonna reassemble this yet because we still gotta pull out the axle. And I already got this nut off right here. So we just gotta undo this, and then yeah, I'll get back. All right, guys. The front bolt is a 21, the second one is a 24. Make sure you got something that supports this whole thing. I tried to pull the bottom bolt out, but I still couldn't get the axle out, so I had to take both bolts out. But make sure you put something down to support this whole thing. Don't let it dangle by the brake wires and stuff. I still gotta kind of readjust that to just yank the axle out. This is the new axle. Make sure you re-grease the axles. You know, the thread part, this part, and the other part, put some grease on it. And yeah, just put the new axle in, stick it back in here, push it back in. It comes with a new hub cap, or whatever, you know, hub bolt, whatever. And then you'll have to get the torque specs, but I'm gonna just do 150. That's as high as my torque wrench goes. Make sure you clean all the grease off the brakes. Make sure you don't bend this thing, the dust shield. It's gonna be very noisy and annoying. All right, and then that'll cover that. Actually, I'm gonna unbolt this bottom one right here so I can start getting the lower control arm off. Yeah, so I'm gonna change the lower control arm now, get that out the way, put the new one on, then I'm gonna reassemble all of this, so it's a lot easier. All right, and actually while I'm on, let me see what size this bolt is. That looks like it could be 24. Yep, it's a 24. All right, that's a 24. All right. All right, guys, as you can see, I fucked up. So you're gonna need a pry bar to pry in between the axle, this part of the axle, this part, I mean. You have to pry in between here and the transmission to pop this out, right? But transmission fluid will come out. Like, I just dumped a whole bunch of transmission fluid on the floor here. And I'm gonna have to go buy transmission fluid to top it back off. So, heads up, you're gonna make a mess, especially if your car's tilted to the side like mine. Fluid's gonna come out, so try to do it as quick as possible, or drain the transmission fluid and then, you know, fill it back up. But yeah, I had to swing this on real quick. And then now, I just gotta get the lower control arm and then we're good. All right, peace. So I tried to use the gun on it, but it just kept spinning. So if you look closely, there's a little groove thing right here. It's a 11 millimeter. So So you get a little small ratchet, put it on there. This is a 24, the bottom bolt is a 24. Make sure you have this on, because it's like backwards, this top one that you're spinning. You're holding this one in place. So it's like lefty. Normally it's righty tighty, lefty loosey, but this one is gonna be lefty tighty, righty loosey. All right, if you get it, shit. All right, yeah, peace. And I'm back at it again. Don't ever buy a Ford, even if it looks good. Because the service department at Ford is complete garbage. What they can't do, I gotta do myself. So I changed the control arm. This is an old control arm. The ball joint is shot. This is a new control arm. I'm about to put that in. That's the old axle. The axle shot, it was clicking and popping. That's the new axle, it's already in there. I just gotta get transmission fluid because I accidentally poured some on the floor. I'm changing the outer tie rod end. That's the old one. The new one's in that box over there. And as you can see, all this shit is apart and I'm about to put it back together. I get this done in 30 minutes because I gotta go somewhere. Also, I gotta change the back brakes. I'm gonna do that another time. All right, guys, this is the old control arm. The ball joint shot. So the top bolt, I think I told y'all what that was, right? The top one was a, fuck, I forgot. I think I told y'all that one. I did, right? Fuck, I'm confused. Shit, I don't think I told y'all. Okay, anyway, so let me see what I got here. The top bolt is an 18. Yeah, okay. And the bottom one is a 15. Okay. The top one is an 18, the bottom one is a 15. The bottom one's thicker. You gotta push it in, like it falls out this way. So when you put it back in, you put it back in and you put the nut on this side, right? Now this one, I thought this, like I needed to put something on there, but you don't need to because it's kind of welded to the frame, to the subframe. But this one is a 20, it's a 21. Right? Let me see, it's on the gun still. Yeah, it's a 21. All right. And that zips off and the control arm just pulls out. And then everything is just reassembled. All right, peace. All right, so I got the control arm in. Put this side in first. Line this one up first. Very important. You're gonna have to use, maybe if you have a small pry bar, you see that little skinny one there? That one right there. Stick that through the hole or something like a screwdriver or something to align it. Get it as close as you can. And then pass the bolt through it and then hit the back of the bolt with like a soft hammer like this. You don't want to damage it. If you don't have a soft hammer, be easy on it. You know, but you want to knock it in there until it lines up. And then you won't be able to screw it in yet. You got to then line that up. But it's a lot easier to line this up than that one. So you line that up and then you tighten that down, and then you'll be able to connect that one and tighten that down too. And then it's all set. Like I said, look up the torque spec. If you ain't got the torque spec, man, I just use the gun. I put it on a high setting, but you should really torque it though. All right, I'm gonna put everything back together. Now remember, make it easier on yourself. Don't be a hero. Heroes get eaten, all right? So what I mean by that is I put this in first, down here. So I put the spindle, I put the ball joint in first before I pop the axle in. So I still had that room to zip this down with the gun, right? Then I pop the axle in right after that, because it's very easy. And then I line this up again with this tool here. Where is it at? With that tool, that black one. I line it up through the bottom hole, and then I put this to the top, slid through, tighten everything down. Like I said, torque everything. But I got a real strong gun, and I kind of, zipped everything down with it. But now, the last piece is this, the tie rod. And same thing, torque it down. Then look over everything, clean the brake rotor, get the grease off of it. Don't forget this center nut. Put that back on too. Right? Then, and you're done. You're definitely gonna need alignment. Even though you tried to save the last alignment, it really, it's a little off still. So you should definitely get another alignment. All right. Please do not forget this part. You gotta back this back. You gotta tighten it back up against the tie rod. Don't forget that. Put it back to lock this in place. All right, and then put the wheel back, and then you're good. Please. Final confirmation, guys. I had to check the transmission fluid to see how much of it leaked out. So you got to take out the air box. It's an 8mm, right? So the 8mm will get this out. To get this off, you unscrew this, disconnect that. Then you take off this box. You take off the two clips off the side, and then you unplug the air temperature sensor, and then you just tilt this to the side, pull it out, tilt to the side, and then pull it out, pull it over here, because I didn't disconnect this wire. Then you'll see this airbox thing in here. You pull the filter out of it. I gotta change the filter, by the way. And then you take out these two 8mm. Then you just lift this thing out. And now you have this here. You unscrew that. It has a dipstick on it. It says hot, so you should check the level while the transmission is warm. And we still got a good amount in here, but I gotta change the transmission fluid anyway, so I'm just gonna go to the store and get transmission fluid. I don't know what it takes, but I called ahead and they told me they have it. I never even asked them what it was, so maybe I'll update you later what kind of transmission fluid it takes. But all right, we're good to go. And as you can see, the wheel's back on. All right, like, comment, subscribe, help me get some people on this shit, so maybe I could get some money from YouTube, and I could do more videos and actually have a cameraman or something. All right, peace, thanks.